The best of high school sports is right here. Live from Studio A in Yuma, Arizona. Friday Night Lights starts right now. Sponsored by Exceptional Community Hospital.
Welcome to week 11 of Friday Night Lights, sponsored by Exceptional Health. I'm Morgan Feller. Beside me is my co-host, Jalen Fong.
Absolutely. We are getting closer to the end of the regular season, and we turn our attention to the Imperial Valley, where undefeated Imperial Tigers are traveling up north to take on a hungry Brawley Wildcats squad.
History is usually pretty reliable, and if it repeats itself, Brawley will have the upper hand in the matchup. The Wildcats have won 10 of their last 11 meetings, but Imperial is the team to beat with weapons galore.
With the victory tonight and some help next week, other Imperial Valley League opponents, Brawley can shake up the league standings, putting themselves right in the mix for the top spot in the IVL. Morgan, let's see what happened.
Let's see. Let's head out to Warren Field for the Battle of the Cats, where the undefeated Imperial Tigers made the trip to the Den to take on those Brawley Wildcats early in the first quarter. Wildcats would be on the move as they run an option play here. Sophomore QB Rick Rubio keeps it, bumps it to the outside, has some green grass, and goes for a Brawley first down and then some. Wildcats marching early in this one, but moments later in striking distance, Rubio and a motion CJ Regital botch the snap. Imperial's Jarrell Washington Walker picks it up and is going the other way, getting the Tigers past midfield after a costly turnover by those Cats. After a quick screen pass to Mari Gaxiola, Tigers stay on the ground with Darren Hueso, who lowers his shoulder, runs a defender over. He would have a pretty quiet half, though, as Brawley's defense swarmed the run. Following the run, Santonio Urena drops back, scans the field, turns to his right, and throws a costly interception to Kevin Valenzuela. He may have been able to house it. If he didn't trip there, this marks back-to-back opening drive turnovers inside the red zone. Brawley's drive would eventually stall out, and Imperial would get the ball again. They would slowly make their way down the field, and the concentration by Gio Robles here on this catch is ridiculous. It gets blocked by the Wildcats line. He still finds a way to haul it in for that first down. Several plays later and some defensive stands from Brawley, Urena drops back on third down, looks to his left, and lobs a pass to Robles, doing his best Randy Moss impression. An insane catch by the senior wideout. He turns right to the student section and silences them as we get that score up. Tigers go up 7-0. We're going to beat Brawley 14-7 in a defensive battle to remain undefeated and break a 9-game losing streak to Brawley. This one was a fun one to be at, Jalen.
Absolutely. And now let's head over to Yuma County to a packed Raider field where Caleb Gillespie's Cibola squad still fighting for one of the final spots in 4A as they welcome in Kofa. Early on, the ground game working for the Raiders as Marquise Montag able to burst through the seam and pick up a good chunk to get inside the red zone. And next play, another handoff, this time to Daniel Sainz. Look at him go. He is able to break through two Kofa defenders and take it to the house for a Cibola touchdown right here as he celebrates with some teammates in the end zone. Second quarter now, Kofa with the ball. Quarterback Luis Rodriguez connects with junior Nigel Escalante, making defenders miss. A little stutter step here and there. Good for a chunk right here, and Kofa still looking to get on the scoreboard. This certainly is not going to help as Rodriguez fires this one to the far sideline. The receiver and DB go for the tip drill, and it's corralled by Deegan Gonzalez, snagging the interception and stopping the Kings' scoring opportunity. Cibola looking to put more points on the board as Rodriguez swings it out left to Montag, and count how many guys he misses, 4 or 5, bursting through into Kofa territory before being taken down by Antonio Ochoa. Cibola getting it done through the air and on the ground as Sainz takes it, and the sweeping handoff absolute blurring through the defense as he's tackled up by Samuel Nunez. And take a look at Nunez right here with an absolute gorgeous interception in the end zone right here, stopping Cibola's drive right there. Unfortunately, Kofa unable to get points later on in the second half as they would fall in this one 41-19.
There's Vincent Memorial coming off their first win of this season, but having to play a hungry Calapat team fresh off a loss to Palo Verde early in the first quarter. Carranza hands to Vizcarra, who makes a guy miss and breaks outside for a big Scots gain all the way down inside the Calapat 5, not wasting any time getting in the red zone. And that is when the Scots would use their bigger back in a moment. Here, Armando Mendeville, who plummets his way into the end zone for a easy 6. Scots go up 7-0 after converting the extra point. Hornets first possession needs some offense. They go play action. Daniel Alcala hits Ozzy Lopez for a first down. Nice gain of 15 there. Calapat would end up punting. Vincent Memorial wouldn't, as Carranza hits Andre Longoria on their next possession for a big gain up the sideline. VM deep in Hornet territory after that one. Vincent inside the Calapat 10, trying to punch it in. The Hornets, Sebastian Lopez stops Emiliano Sanchez from reaching the end zone, and it would remain 7-0. But the Hornets defense would have a long night, unable to contain the Scots offense, who wins big 38-0. Vincent Memorial gets their second straight win. We've got a lot more prep football coming your way. Armando Mosqueda and the Criminals took on a young Toros squad. Both teams still searching for their first win.
Plus, a border battle between two IVL foes going in opposite directions.
We're marching down the field and picking up every first down along the way. More Friday Night Lights right after this short water break.
You're watching Friday Night Live on News 11. Go Criminals!
Black Friday is here at More Furniture. Don't miss the biggest savings of the year. Up to 50% off store-wide on beautiful living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, and more. Free white glove delivery on your purchase of $9.99 or more. We'll bring it in, set it up, and take the hassle out of your holiday upgrade. Plus doorbuster deals you can't afford to miss. Shop early for the very best selections before they're gone.
The desert waits for no one. It dares. It calls. And now is the time to ride. Get exclusive offers on Bronco and Bronco Sport SUVs with the capability to climb canyons, cut across the sand, and write the kind of story pavement never could. It's time to ride, but hurry, because the desert doesn't wait, and neither should you. Lease a Bronco Big Bend for $399 a month for 36 months, only at your Desert Ford dealers.
If you've been injured in an accident, do not settle for less. Call the Sentinel Group now. Our lawyers specialize in injury cases and help clients recover the best settlements. If you sustain injuries from a slip and fall, auto collision, bicycle collision, dog bite, workplace injury, or any other accident through no fault of your own, call the Sentinel Group now. Don't suffer the painful side effects of someone's negligent acts without seeking just compensation for your injuries. The injuries you received could have lasting effects in the future on not only you, but your family too. And our team is ready to fight for you. Choosing the right personal injury attorney is key to recouping your medical expenses, pain and suffering, and lost wages suffered because of your accident. Call the Sentinel Group now and get the compensation you deserve. The consultation is free, and you won't pay a thing unless there's a recovery in your favor.
Call 800-514-4703. 800-514-4703.
We said we'd never give in to a meltdown.
Mariella!
Never leave the house looking, well, and never let them out of our sight. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
Join us for FNL, sponsored by Exceptional Community Hospital. You're watching Friday Night Lights, home of football from across the desert Southwest.
Welcome back to week 11 of Friday Night Lights. I'm Morgan Feller. To my right is Jalen Fong.
Morgan, the stage is set. Two teams still searching for their first win after 7 weeks of prep football.
Yeah, the stakes are even higher for Somerton. They're seeking out their first win as a varsity program. Two teams duking it out. Only one can end up in the win column. The Toros storm the field with the hopes of making history. The Criminals come in hungry, playing for their pride of the storied program. A fumble recovery set up Yuma with a terrific opportunity from the get-go, and it's freshman Jonah Navarro going up the gut for 6. They would not be able to convert the 2-point attempt, so it remains 6-0. Keep your eyes on number 7, Marquise Dixon, shooting right up the middle and making a great tackle for a loss of 3 on the outside run attempt. But Somerton gets the big chunk play they need with a play-action flick from Edward Arvizo to Jose Polino, who outsprints multiple defenders until Dixon lowers his shoulder for the nice tackle. This time, the Toros get back to the basics with Polino charging straight through the heart of the Crims as momentum drives him in to the end zone. Somerton up 7-6 after the PAT. Now, it's the Crims looking to inject life into their drive in the form of a pass to the big fella, Lazaro Winton Morales. He gets the first down. Just a little bit later, it's Dixon taking the snap through a gaping hole up the middle and breaking away for a 47-yard touchdown run to put his team up 12-7. He didn't just get the job done on the ground. On the next drive, Dixon airs it out and drops this pass into the hands of Nehemiah Sanders for a massive gain. They would not score on the drive, but they drop the goose egg in the win column with a 38-15 win as Somerton's best chance for its first ever win is wiped away.
Calexico coming in looking for their first league win of the season and a daunting task with Hopeville Vikings coming into town. Hopeville up 30-14 right here. Alonzo Cuevas drops back to pass to finds Kai Estrada deep down the field, but the pass is broken up by Dominic Flores with some great coverage on that play. That would not be enough to keep Hopeville's offense off the board as Enrique Armas has a nice gain of 10. Calexico's Lionel Conchola saving the big play with the nice tackle. But the Vikings would get a big first down as a scramble from Cuevas, setting up Enrique Armas for yet another score. Hopeville's defense held Calexico to no second half points, winning in this one very convincingly, 58-14, staying undefeated in league play and setting up a huge matchup in the Ivy Classic with rival Imperial.
Jalen, I'm pretty excited. We got a good amount of teams that are going to be cracking the playoffs in a couple weeks. You know, we have another week of regular season football, but let's talk about those Imperial Valley teams. We'll start with the team I went to and saw, Imperial. What's their kind of playoff hopes looking like?
Look, right now it's looking very good for them right here. They're undefeated still as they look into a huge matchup as they host rival Hopeville next week. Both teams undefeated in league. They are going to be playing not only for the league championship, but for playoff seeding right now. As it stands, Imperial would be the #1 seed in Division 2. Should they win and be undefeated, could they get bumped up and be one of the lower seeds in D1? If they lose, they'll probably still stay in D2. And Hopeville, looking in that same predicament, right now a 5 seed in Division 2. So those two teams, even if, you know, the outcome of the league championship next week, they could possibly see each other in the playoffs in Division 2.
I'm excited to kind of see just how the IVL shakes up next week in that game. That'll be a fun one. Let's turn to Yuma real quick. I feel like we got two main schools we're kind of looking at. Gila Ridge and YC. I guess Cibola is also in the mix. But tell me about what's going on there.
You know, Cibola right now just on the outside looking in at number 27. Top 24 teams get into the playoffs right here. So they're going to need possibly a big victory over Gila Ridge next week in their final game. And as you take a look, Gila Ridge right now ranked number 10, so they're still teetering on whether or not they can get a home playoff game. They got to be in that top 8 in order to host that first round. And for YC, the best program, arguably in the last decade or so here, they are right now on the outside looking in at number 25. Surprisingly, though, number 24, Sunrise Mountain, a team that they beat by 3 points earlier in the year. So obviously they got a home game against West Point next week. Hopefully that'll give them enough points to get it into that 5A bracket. And who knows, once you're in, you never know what could happen.
You never know what could happen. That's the beauty of the playoffs. Interesting how it's kind of shaken up with the team they beat earlier. We got a lot more coming your way, including our helmet props, play of the night, and our out-of-town scoreboards.
We'll be right back after this quick TV timeout.
You're watching Friday Night Lights on News 11. Go Shamrock!
Look, my house is an illusion in a way. They make it sound like it's a real big house, but it's really not a big house.
A home so iconic, the community rallied behind the owner when it burned down. Now rebuilt, News 11 speaks with a man who made his dream home a reality. How much he paid for it originally, how he saved money in the build process, why you may recognize this carpet on the stairs, and what it's like growing up in the Smurf House. Wednesday, November 5th at 6 p.m. Only on News 11.
Think it's too expensive to hire a lawyer after a car accident? Here's a fact. At the Smith Fila Law Firm, you pay nothing up front for our services. We simply don't get paid unless you do. Get the facts and the help you need after an accident. Call the Smith Fila Law Firm today.
Are you sitting at home living in pain? Maybe it's in your hands, maybe your back or your hips. The good news is you don't need to live in pain. Why? Because there is Omega XL, a one-of-a-kind, natural, powerful joint relief supplement created from the green lip mussels of New Zealand. Drug-free, non-habit forming. It's small, easy to swallow, and it's backed by more than 40 years of clinical research. As I was getting older, my joints started to feel that wear and tear. But then I tried Omega XL, and it changed my life. If you're experiencing daily aches and pains due to aging and overuse, try Omega XL and see the difference it can make in your life.
Call now or order online. Buy 1 bottle of Omega XL and get a second free. Plus, get a free bottle of Vitamin XL D3. 2 free bottles for the price of 1 bottle of Omega XL. A total value of $115. You pay only $49.95 and it ships free. Plus, you get a money-back guarantee. Buy 1, get 2 free. Act now.
They're certified for performance, certified for fuel efficiency, certified for adventure. They are Toyota certified used vehicles, and each has gone through a complete bumper-to-bumper inspection, carries extensive warranties, and comes with 24/7 roadside assistance. Now, get a low APR on a Toyota certified used vehicle. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
While hospitals have doctors and nurses, we have mom and dad. Because at Ronald McDonald House Charities, we help families feel at home, even when they can't be.
You're watching Friday Night Lights, home of football from across the desert Southwest.
Welcome back once again. We want to give a special thank you to our sponsor, Exceptional Community Hospital. We've covered a lot already. We're not done yet.
We're going to take a look at some of those out-of-town scores from those teams that were on the road. As you can see right here, Palo Verde winning the Desert League with a victory tonight, 34-6. They finished the regular season 6-4. Southwest is going to return home as they play their finale against Calipatria next week. And Gila Ridge keeping it rolling with 8 straight victories. They win this one on the road against Sierra Linda 33-18, and they host Cibola next week.
We got another score coming up, another 2 scores, I should say. YC has really turned this ship around, winning 46-7 against the Willow Canyon Wildcats, and Antelope would unfortunately fall to the Trivium Prep Crimson Knights. This probably eliminates their chances for the playoffs. You can confirm that. Let's come back and do our helmet props.
Helmet props right here. Going in tonight, like I just mentioned right here, league champions, the first league champion to be crowned here in the Desert Southwest, Palo Verde. Head coach Wally Grant giving a shout out to Ryan Pence, always giving me the great scores and updates all week long about the program. A little bit of adversity in the middle of the year, but 3 straight wins, and right now they're ranked number 2. So for all those San Diego teams wanting to go through the playoffs, it's going to be a tough road trip to go over to Blythe and beat the Yellow Jackets.
Through Blythe. It's a funny thing to say, and I'm going with the Tigers. They might be league champions next week. We'll kind of see what happens. Beating Brawley tonight. This was a fun one to be at. Defensive battle, as I mentioned in the highlight. 2 turnovers from the get-go. Usually these Tigers are just rolling. But Brawley's defense is the real deal. So
David Chaw's squad right here, a chance for an undefeated regular season next week against the vaunted Holtville Vikings. So can't wait to see that game.
It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one. While we're talking about those Tigers, let's pull up that play of the week. Santonio Urena drops back and finds Gio Robles, channeling his inner Randy Moss. Just an insane grab. One of the best catches we have probably seen to date. And for those NFL fans out there, you'll see this would count on the big stage, getting a shin down as we slow it down for you. He waves to the Brawley crowd. Night-night, as they would go on to win 14-7. A fun one there. We're going to show you today's best as we sign off. We want to give a special thank you to our sponsor, Exceptional Community Hospital. We also want to give a special tip of the cap to our viewers. Thank you for joining us week after week. And a shout out to our general manager, Dave Miller, our news director, Ernesto Romero, along with our whole Friday night